Hello students, welcome back to our next lecture of protective tissue system. Here today we are going to study the epidermal, the last part of the epidermal tissue system, that is stomata. In previous chapter we have studied the previous, that is three parts: epidermis, cuticle and the trichomes. Now we will start the stomata. So you know that stomata is present on the aerial part of the plant body, especially on the leaves. Okay, so it is a small pore like structure, as you can see in the picture. It is it is a epidermal part, it is present on the surface of the epidermis. So through these stomata, photosynthesis and that is transpiration takes place. So stomata is one of the essential part of the plant body. It is present only on the aerial part of the young part of the plant body, or it may be present generally it is present on the leaves, but it is also present on the young stem also. Okay, so it is absent in root. So let's start with the stomata. Stomata, they are nothing but a minute pore, that is a small minute or microscopic pores are present, which is elliptical in shape, somewhat elliptical, that is long or elliptical in shape. So it is a very small, or you can say a tiny complexes. It is found on the epidermis of leaves and other soft aerial parts of the plants. Okay, it may occur on any part of the plant except the root. That means it is absent in root. Generally the term stoma, that is stoma means pore. This term stoma is applied to the stomatal opening. That is, it is the small opening which is present on the surface of the epidermis, that is known as the stoma. The stoma is used as a term to the small opening, that is, there is a small pore like structure is present, which is surrounded by a kidney shaped guard cells. Okay, so you can see in the picture, that is the see the labeling, which is that is seen in, that is guard cells, that is a green color. In second figure a green color body is seen. So this is the guard cell, and they are somewhat kidney or the bean shape in structure. Okay, so these guard cells contains a chloroplast. Then nucleus is also present in the guard cell, and also the, that is cytoplasm, vacuoles, or these organelles, they are also present in the guard cells. Okay, so stoma means a small pore, that is the center part of the that aperture, that is the center part means the opening or the pore, you can see, that is known as the stomatal pore. And that stomatal pore is surrounded by a kidney shape or the bean shape two guard cells. Okay, two guard cells, they are present on either side of the pore, and they are connected with each other. If the these guard cells, when they touch with each other, that means when they are flaccid in condition, they touch with each other, the pore get closed. And if they are in a position like that, that means they stretch towards the outside, then that opening is stomatal pore is open. Okay, so each stoma or each spore is surrounded by a bean shape or a kidney shaped cells known as guard cells. And these guard cells are living cells which contains nucleus, cytoplasm, vacuoles and chloroplast. Number of chloroplasts are present in the guard cells. So the, if you can see in the picture, that in the first picture, the inner wall of the guard cells, you can see it is outlined by a black color, and which is somewhat thicker than the outer wall. Okay, so guard cells, that is the wall which is present towards the pore side is somewhat thicker than that of the outer side. Okay, outer wall is somewhat thin and elastic in nature, which is flexible or elastic in nature, whereas the inner wall is somewhat thick and rigid. Okay, so this is about the guard cells. Now these guard cells, you can see here, is surrounded by, in the picture, in the second picture, that is stomatal aperture picture, there are a brown colored cells are present surrounding the guard cells. So these brown colored that is structures or cells, they are the specialized epidermal cells. So these cells, they are surrounded the guard cells. So there may be a 1, 2, 3, 4 or number of that is epidermal, specialized epidermal cells surrounded the guard cells. Now these specialized epidermal cells which is surrounding the guard cells is known as subsidiary cells. What is the name of that cells? It is the subsidiary cells. They may be arranged in a specific manner or irregularly arranged. Okay. In case of that is dicotyledons, usually the leaves of dicotyledons, the on the surface of the leaves of dicotyledonous plants, the stomata are scattered type, or they are present anywhere of on the surface of the leaves, or it means that it is a scattered arrangement is scattered. But in case of monocotyledons, the leaves of monocotyledons, the stomata arranged in a parallel rows, because there is a venation, it is a parallel venation in monocotyledons. Okay, so and in case of dicotyledon, the leaf shows the reticulate venation. So in case of dicotyledons, it arranged scattered type, or it remains scattered in dicotyledon, whereas in monocotyledons the stomata arranged in a parallel rows. Okay, this is, now these epidermal cells cover the guard cells are known as accessory or subsidiary cells, as we can see in the picture. Now stomata with these subsidiary cells or these specialized that is epidermal cells, it is termed as, together with the subsidiary cells and the stomatal pore, guard cells, and together with the subsidiary cells is known as the stomatal complex. So the number of stomata, it may also range on the surface of a single leaf. Its range is vary, that is it range from a single leaf, that is it range from a few thousand to hundreds of thousands per square centimeter. So the range may vary, it may be present from a few thousand to hundred of thousands per square centimeter. Okay, and generally stomata are found in large quantities, or it is more numerous on the underside of the leaves, that is the leaf has two surfaces, upper and the lower. So on the lower side of the leaves, their number is more, or they are present in numerous quantity, okay, as compared to the upper surface. Okay, because upper surface is facing to the sunlight, so the transpiration due to heat or due to temperature is more on the upper surface. So if there is a less quantity of pores are present though, so the less will be the water loss on that surface. So that's why this underlying surface of the leaf, which is not directly contact with the sunlight, hence the number of pores are present on the under surface, so that the transpiration rate will be low. Okay, so stomata occur on both surface, but their number is somewhat irregular, that is it is present more in lower surface as compared to the upper surface. Under normal condition, stomata remain closed, or you can say the stomata in some plants, stomata they are open at night, or the CM or crassulacean, that is pathways were found in that plant, that is C4 plants. The C3 plants, they shows in that plant they are xerophytic plants somewhat. So at the daytime the temperature is very high, so that at the daytime that the stomata of that plants, they remain closed, and at the night time this stomata, they will open. It is a somewhat the opposite condition, but in our surrounding plants in the temperate or the tropical regions, there the stomata remain that is open during the daytime, and it will be closed during the night time. So how the stomata what is the mechanism behind the closing and the opening of the stomata? You know that guard cell is consists of nucleus, cytoplasm, chloroplast, all these cells. So it is filled with water. When the guard cells when there is a scarcity of water in the guard cells absorb water from the surrounding cells, from the surrounding subsidiary cells. Okay, so when the entry of water takes place into the guard cells, the turgidity of the guard cells, that means the water level of the guard cells increases. As the water level increases, that means you can say also the turgidity of the guard cells increases. That means the cells become turgid. Okay, so these, if as the turgidity or as the water level increases, they becomes that is enlarged in size. Okay, so as they get enlarged, this outer membrane of the guard cells, which is elastic in nature, is stretching towards the outside. That is, it stretched the guard cells towards the outside, and as it stretched towards the outside, as the two guard cells, the outer membrane of the two guard cells is stretched towards the respective of the outside there, then it also that is the outer, that is inner walls also goes towards the outer side, towards with the outer wall. See, inner walls is automatically, that is separate from the, that is when it is connected with the each other, and as the stretching starts, the outer wall pull that inner wall to the outside, and hence this inner wall get, that is separated. As they get separated, there is a formation of pore or a gap between the two guard cells, and this gap is known as the opening of the stomata. Okay, so it is due to the entry of water and the turgidity of the guard cells, that turgidity pulls the wall of the guard cells towards the outside. That's why the stomata get open. Okay, and opposite is the case when stomata closed. That when the water present inside the guard cells, it goes outside or it removes from the guard cells, so the guard cells become flaccid, and the flaccid, the outer wall which is stretched towards the outside, that is comes to its normal position, that is it is flaccid, and the outer wall and the inner wall again get close to each other. As the inner wall close that is come together, the pore it will close. We don't see any pore, that means you can say the stomata is closed. So this is the mechanism, that is when entry of water takes place, the stomata get open, and when the removal of water takes place from the guard cells, the stomata become, or stomata get closed. Okay, so this is the simple mechanism behind the opening and closing of the stomata. Okay, so on the basis of number and arrangement of subsidiary cells, stomata are of various types. Yes, these guard cells they remain intact, or they remain that is as it is in all the types, but according to the presence of which type of subsidiary cells or what type of arrangement of that subsidiary cells was surrounding the guard cells, on the basis of that the stomata, they are of 5 types. Okay, that is ranunculaceous, or you can say anomocytic stomata, or it is known as the irregular celled stomata also. So ranunculaceous is given the name of that stomata after it is found in the Ranunculaceae family. So where that stomata, or the if any family which has a specific type of stomata, then the name of that stomata is given on the according to that family. So Ranunculaceae is a family, is a name of family, and in ranunculaceous members this type of stomata is generally found. So that stomata is given the name ranunculaceous stomata, or basically it is known as anomocytic stomata. Okay, so second is cruciferous. Okay, cruciferous stomata. Cruciferous means the family, that is cruciferae family. It is that stomata is found in that family. Hence the cruciferous means it is a Brassica family also, Brassicaceae family you can say also, that is Mohri, Mula, that is this family. On the leaves of that plants, the members of that plants, it shows the that anisocytic or unequal celled stomata found in that family. Hence the name is given, that is cruciferous stomata. Then the next is rubiaceous famila. Again same is the case, Rubiaceae family shows this type of stomata, which is also known as parasitic or parallel celled stomata. Okay, then fourth one is Caryophyllaceous stomata, or it is found in Caryophyllaceae family, and it is also known as dicytic or cross-celled stomata. Okay, so fifth one is, that is Graminaceous stomata, or Graminaceous, it is found in the Gramineae family. It is a monocot family, and it is somewhat, the guard cells of this stomata is somewhat different than that of the 4 types. Okay, so that's why it is a Graminaceous stomata, which is found only in a particular Gramineae family. Okay, so let's see the types of stomata one by one. Yes, first one is ranunculaceous stomata. First one is ranunculaceous stomata. Ranunculaceous stomata, it is also known as anomocytic stomata or irregular celled stomata. The stomata in this case, that is or the, you can say, the subsidiary cells, the special type of subsidiary cells, they are absent in this stomata. So you ask me, so what are these cells which are seen in the figure? These are the simple epidermal cells, that epidermal cells in which this stomata is present. So the surface cells or the epidermal cells, they are just surrounding this stomata. Okay, surrounding the guard cells. So they are not any specialized epidermal cells present on the or surrounding the guard cells. That's why we can say it is absent. Okay, so no subsidiary cells, only the simple epidermal cells surrounding that guard cells, and these simple epidermal cells, they arrange irregular in pattern. They are irregularly arranged surround to the outside of the guard cells. They has no any particular sequence or arrangement. Okay, so it is surrounded by several irregularly arranged ordinary or simple epidermal cells. Where it is found? It is found in the Tridacts, then Citrulus and Ranunculus members. So mostly it is found in Ranunculus members. So in some plants, there is exceptional cases, the Tridacts or Citrulus, this type of stomata is also found. Okay, so this is about the ranunculaceous, that is, you can see in the picture the 2 guard cells, 2 bean-shaped guard cells, which is surrounded by, in some cases it is 3 in number, in some cases it is 4 in numbers, or in some cases it is 5, 6 in numbers, and the arrangement is irregular. It is not a specific arrangement. Okay, so there is no any specific pattern. That is the ranunculus. If you can see this type of stomata, on the leaf surface, then it is ranunculaceous stomata or anemocytic stomata. Yes. Next stomata is cruciferous stomata. Yes, cruciferous stomata, it is found in the family Brassicaceae or the cruciferae. Okay, this is also known as anisocytic stomata. It is in this stomata subsidiary cells are present, that means special epidermal cells are present, but this arrangement is again irregular, or you can say the unequal sized cells are present. The cell size is which is present towards the outside of the guard cells, it is not of equal size, may vary. You can see in the picture the two cells or the that is stoma which is surrounded by three unequal sized subsidiary cells. Okay, you can clearly seen in the picture, that is all the three cells, they are not of equal size, they are of unequal size. And among these three subsidiary cells, one is very small, distinctly small than the other two. That is all the three members, they are of unequal size, but among these three subsidiary cells, this one of the subsidiary cells is distinctly smaller than the other two. When this is the case, or this type of arrangement of subsidiary cells are present in such in that stomata, that type of stomata is known as the cruciferous stomata, or the you can say anisocytic stomata. Got it? It is found in the member of cruciferae or Brassicaceae, that is Brassica, Sedum, Nicotiana and Petunia, some of the examples of this stomata where it is present. So this is the second type of stomata, that is cruciferous stomata, in which three subsidiary cells are present surrounding the guard cells, and these three, they are unequal in size. Among the three subsidiary cells, one is distinctly smaller than that of the other two. Okay, so this is the guard cells, same, that is bean shaped or kidney shaped. The next, that is the third type of stomata, is known as rubiaceous stomata. Now this rubiaceous stomata, which is also known as parasitic stomata. Why it is known as parasitic stomata? Because the subsidiary cells, you can see the two guard cells, bean shaped guard cells, which is surrounded by only two subsidiary cells. Okay, but the arrangement of these two subsidiary cells, it is parallel to the axis of the guard cells. That is, the stoma is usually, that is this stoma or the pore is usually surrounded by two subsidiary or accessory cells, you can say, which are parallel to the long axis of the pore and guard cells. Okay, these subsidiary cells, the arrangement you can see in the picture, this arrangement is somewhat parallel to the long axis of that pore or the guard cells. Okay, so this is the central axis of the guards, that is pore or the guard cells, and towards and according to that central axis, these subsidiary cells or accessory cells, they are present parallel to that axis. Okay, so that's why it is known as parasitic stomata. It is found in Rubiaceae family, and it is found in Rubiaceae member, Vidania, then that is the plants of Rubiaceae members, Ixora, Vidania is the members of Rubiaceae family. Okay, so it is found in that plants. So again, what is the key point of the rubiaceous stomata is two subsidiary cells, they are present parallel to the axis of the pore or the guard cells. So parallel is the key word, and on the basis of that word, or this is the key point of that word, that is parallel, hence the name parasitic. So how you can remember that point, that is parallel. If the parallel subsidiary cells you see in the picture, or you can see in the any type of leaf surface or stomata, then it is parasitic or it is a rubiaceous stomata. So let's move to the fourth type of stomata, that is known as the caryophyllaceous stomata. So in case of caryophyllaceous stomata, or it is also known as dicytic, it is opposite to the parasitic. How it is opposite? In case of parasitic, these subsidiary cells, they are present parallel to the central axis. But in case of dicytic stomata, these subsidiary cells, they are present perpendicular to the long axis or the central axis of the pore or the guard cells. So these stomata or these guard cells, they remain surrounded by a pair of subsidiary cells, and these subsidiary cells remain at right angles to the long axis of the guard cells. So in case of parasitic, it is parallel to the long axis, and in case of dicytic, it is perpendicular to the long axis. Okay, got the point? It is a comparative point in between the dicytic and the parasitic. So remember only the angle, that is, it is a parallel axis, parallel to the axis in parasitic and perpendicular to the axis in the dicytic. Okay, so here also the two subsidiary cells, in parasitic also there is two subsidiary cells, but only the angle is changed. Okay, so got the point? It is present in caryophyllaceous member. It is also present in the osmium, and dianthus is the caryophyllaceous member. So the osmium is the labiative member, but it is all present in the osmium also. So this is about the dicytic or caryophyllaceous stomata. So these four types, they shows a common point, that is the guard cells are bean shaped. All the four types of stomata that we have seen, there the one common thing is present in them is the guard cells, they are bean shape or the kidney shape. Only the arrangement of the subsidiary cells, they are different, and on the basis of that these four types are present. In the first case, that is subsidiary cells, they are absent, or the first is our ranunculaceous stomata or anemocytic stomata. In the second case, in the anisocytic stomata, subsidiary cells, they are 3 in number and unequal in size. One is very small than the other two. Then the third one is parasitic. In parasitic, it is a two subsidiary cells are present, and they are present at parallel to the axis, okay, central axis. And in case of dicytic, these two subsidiary cells are present, and these subsidiary cells, they are present at the perpendicular to the long axis. Okay, so this is about the four types of stomata. Now the fifth one is, there is a somewhat special difference is there in the guard cells. So let's look at this. In graminaceous stomata, the guard cells, you can see in the picture, it looks like a dumbbell. Dumbbell is a you can use in the to do the exercise. Okay, so this dumbbell, they these guard cells, they looks like a dumbbell. So guard cells of these stomata, they are dumbbell shaped, and each guard cell has a narrow middle portion and two bulbous ends. You can see in at the center is a narrow line is you can see here, that is the narrow middle portion, and the upper part of the upper and the lower part of this that is guard cells, they are somewhat enlarged in size, or you can say they have the bulbous end, okay, like a dumbbell. Okay, so this is the characteristic or the specific features present in the graminaceous stomata, and on the basis of the shape of the guard cells, these graminaceous stomata you can easily identify in the epidermal tissue. Okay, so this narrow that is middle portion present at the center, it is somewhat thicker than that of the outer part. Okay, and the subsidiary cells, they are parallel to the long axis of the pore, like that of the parasitic type. These subsidiary cells, they are also arranged at the to the parallel to the long axis. Okay, so it is somewhat like the parasitic, but the difference in between the parasitic and the graminaceous stomata is that is in the guard cells, that is the shape of the guard cells. In case of parasitic, the shape is bean shape or kidney shape, or in case of gramineous stomata it is dumbbell shape. Okay, so this is the fifth gramineous stomata and it is found in Gramineae family. Okay, so this is the last type of stomata. Now let's look at the function of stomata. Okay, function is they help in exchange of gases between the plant and atmosphere, as there is a presence of pore, so there is a exchange, or there is the gases comes inside and the outer atmospheric gases comes inside, and the inner gases which develops on in the plants, it goes towards the outside. So it is a passage, it provides a passage or a pathway for the exchange of gases in between the plants and the atmosphere. Okay, so that's why through this pore these gases comes towards the inside and goes towards the outside into the atmosphere. Okay, so this is somewhat helps in photosynthesis. It is required, that is this gaseous exchange is required in photosynthesis. During photosynthesis plants require the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Now this carbon dioxide comes through this passage or through this stomata or pore. Okay, so this carbon dioxide, they when plant gets this carbon dioxide, with the help of this carbon dioxide they prepare their food material through the process of photosynthesis, and after photosynthesis is completed, then this byproduct, again there is a evolution of oxygen gas is during that photosynthesis process, and this oxygen it goes, now this that is collected oxygen, it has to be gone to the outside. So this oxygen carbon dioxide takes plants takes carbon dioxide from the outside, and the oxygen they provide to the outside. So this exchange, this comes and goes, that is coming and going of these gases takes place through this stomata. Hence ultimately this stomata helps in the gaseous exchange and also in the preparation of food. That means it facilitates the photosynthesis process also. Okay, so during the daytime the stomata it remain open, and that during daytime the sunlight is available to the plants, and hence the photosynthesis process takes place by accepting carbon dioxide and that is generating oxygen. Okay, so this is the function of stomata. It is also that is as you can say, acting as an entry way or for carbon dioxide and the releasing the oxygen that we breathe. So in respiration, as we do in respiration, that is oxygen we are taking and carbon dioxide that is releasing. So plants also respire, they also releases carbon dioxide and gives and take oxygen. So this process or this gaseous exchange is also takes place through this respiration process, hence ultimately it also helps in respiration process also. So and this is one of the gaseous that is function of the stomata. The other function of stomata is it regulating the water movement through transpiration. Yes, transpiration, that is the removal of water, is a phenomena, is a natural phenomena. It is found, that is as we we can sweat or remove the water in the form of sweat. Like that the plant also to maintain the temperature inside maintain the inside temperature, plants also have to transpire or to remove the water. Okay, so this is the transpiration process, that is removal of water in the form of water vapor. That process is known as transpiration. It is somewhat important phenomena in the plant. Okay, so this also regulated by the stomata, opening of the stomata. Then evaporation of water takes place through stomata. Evaporation means the water removal in the form of water vapors, that is known as the evaporation. So this evaporation process, which maintain the temperature of the plant body, is also takes place through the stomata. Okay, these stomata also avoid the excess, that is you can say excess water that is goes to the outside, that is the excess, it avoids excess transpiration or evaporation. How? In desert plant, these there is a lot of temperature or high temperature is there, so due to high temperature the evaporation process becomes fast, or transpiration, the rate of transpiration becomes high. So to avoid or to that is you can, so you can say prevent this transpiration or this evaporation, or to lower the rate of these two processes, these stomata of these plants, they remain closed at the daytime. So if the pores get closed, so though there is no exchange of gases, and though there is no exchange of any water, okay, there is no removal of any water from the plants. So in this way these stomata, they also helps to prevent the rate of transpiration or the evaporation of water from the plant. So this is the function of stomata. This is a up to this we have finished our protective tissue system, and this unit is over now. And in under these protective tissue systems we have studied the epidermis, that is the epidermal tissue system we have studied. The in epidermal tissue systems we studied the epidermis, the type, that is the type of cells, then what type of cells they are present on in the epidermis, then outermost covering of the epidermis, that is the covering is protected by the protective layer which is made up of cutin or waxy layer, that is the cuticle we have studied. Then we have studied the trichomes. There are various types of trichomes we have studied there, unicellular, multicellular, uniceriate, multiceriate, and pelted, scale like, all these things, all types of trichomes we have studied in this epidermal tissue system. Now today in this lecture we have finished the last part of the epidermal tissue system, that is stomata. So what is stomata, how it looks, what types of cells are present in the stomata, then how many types of stomata and various types of stomatas we have studied, and also the function of stomata. So in this protective tissue system, this unit, we have studied the whole epidermal tissue system. Now in our next lecture we will start the next unit, that is the primary growth of the plant body. So this is all about the tissues and its tissue systems. Now how it arranged in the plant body we will see in next chapter under the unit, that is primary growth in plant. Okay, so the what is the internally how it looks in the how the that is how the tissues are arranged in the primary plant body, we will see in the next lecture. Okay, up till now this is the end of this lecture. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for the next lecture.